Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to my channel this evening. Now, if you've not subscribed to my channel, please help me hit the red button so that you will join the conversation when I talk about it. Now, if you have not followed me on Facebook, please also follow me. I have a news website. Also, please support our broadcast and our channel by giving us a little bit of super chat or a star. All right, guys, this evening I want to talk about this story, the fight that happened at Rocky Mount High School in America. Now, it's somewhere is in Nash, America, between a teacher, her name is Xaviera Steele, and a people. Now, I'm not going to call the people's name because I think she's 15, but her picture is there. Um, there's been an arrest on this matter. So that's the school, Rocky Mount High School. And the fight went viral 2 days ago. It was really like when I watched the video, to be frank with you guys, I couldn't post it here. And being a teacher, I couldn't believe what I saw. Now, first of all, if you look at where the girl is standing, that happens to be the teacher's space. So I have seen a lot of people make comments, and I want to say that as a teacher, it's a no-no for a child to come into your space. I remember this is a secondary school. I don't know how the secondary school in America works, but a child doesn't come into a teacher's space. Now, thank God there have been an arrest, or well, not they've been charged. Both of them been charged. Not just the teacher, the child also been charged. Now, there's been a lot of commotion or conversation about who raised their hand first. And if you go on, I can't post this video here because I know Facebook will just, or YouTube and Facebook, they will just penalize me. But it's going to be on my Twitter page. So if you go to my Twitter page, you can watch that video. Now, people are saying, okay, the teacher, touched her first. And I'm like, no, the girl was on, she was actually in her space. And also, does she have the right to take the phone from the girl? Because plus, oh, she took her phone. Listen, a secondary school or a school is not supposed to be a place where children play with their phone. And of course, this is the school policy. If you go to the school website, they do have a policy about configuration of phones. A child is not supposed to have their phone in classroom unless if there is a need for that phone by the teacher for the lesson. So, from what we have gotten, this was actually planned by the child. Well, from what is being said on social media, and it was like the girl actually was going to do something if the teacher didn't give her back the phone, and something was happening with the phone. We don't have the whole detail, but there was something happening. She was recording, and it was all planned before this fight started. But yes, the teacher does have the right to take the phone. I do not understand where some people are questioning that. It's a school, for crying out loud. It's a secondary school. It's not a university. And this is a high school. And why should a child have the phone on during learning? I don't get it. When I see some comment from parents, I just wonder, what kind of parenting are we actually demonstrating? This whoop or this slang or this kind of ideology that your child is your friend, you can, she can get away with things or do anything, is actually detrimental to our generation of young children. This generation of young children, we're not training them properly. Why should a child raise their hand on their teacher? I do not get it. And as a primary school teacher, this is why I can never, no matter whatever happens, I can never teach in secondary school. The kind of, behavior that we see in schools now, it is mind-blowing and alarming. And when people talk about this is the teacher, the woman in question, and she's not just a child, she's 41 years old, because I've seen people talking about her dressing, and it was a fight, for crying out loud. Her dress came up when she was fighting. She wasn't indecently dressed. Her dress was up to her knees. So I don't know what people are talking about. And also, how can you be in the classroom teaching a child and she comes onto your space and then she slaps you? I don't get those that are supporting this atrocity, or those who are saying, oh, the teacher should have given her the phone. No, she has the right to take the phone. Let's call a spade a spade. It is actually the school policy. And the comment from the girl after the whole incident, I don't I do think about home training a lot. I think about the fact that we are losing it as parents, and we're allowing the government to actually be the one train our children and not giving them the right moral. I saw this comment from this woman. I said, teachers nowadays feels a little too comfortable putting their hands on folks' kids. What the fuck? The lady in Rocky Mount don't need to step foot in. And it is it's funny where parents just make this comment. And as a teacher, do I believe that maybe the teacher could have restrained herself a little bit? Maybe she could have. But for me, the child shouldn't have slapped the teacher. You take away that ethic and that, cordial relationship, and that, what will I say, that restraint from someone when you have provoked and pushed that person to a point. We do not know what has happened till it gets here. And knowing the kind of children that we teach now, a lot happen. They push it in your face, they dare you to do anything. And I do not know how she got to this, her boiling point, the teacher. But for a child to slap her, for crying out loud, the child slapped her. Why don't we address the fact that this child shouldn't have? She shouldn't have. We're all human, for crying out loud. The teacher is a human being. Imagine if she has a child her age in her house, and then you're slapping her. Oh God, come on, thank God for some people, because people actually know the fact and understand that teachers are actually getting a lot of disrespect. To be frank with you, it is alarming, the kind of things that we face as teachers, not just in secondary school, even I'm talking about primary, and even the kind of things that we face from parents and the disrespect in front of their children. I'm teaching your child and you're disrespecting me in front of your child. Then how do you think your child will take me or treat me in class? When you have those conversations at home with your children and my name is being mentioned, or teachers' names are being mentioned, or the teachers' name, and there's no respect. Of course, this kind of a thing happen. And it all boils down to parenting. I was watching this video with my little man, my little boy, and I was like, Mom, oh, the teacher pushed. I was like, teacher pushed what? Oh, but yeah, but she should. I said, no, don't even talk about the teacher did not. He just kind of like, tried to remove her hand from her body and told her to move away. First of all, the girl was in her space, and we need to understand what it means for you to be in someone's space. Children talk about it a lot. And we explain to them that your space, it should be your safe haven. No one should come to your space. No one should actually encroach in your territory, your space. So this girl actually dared the teacher. And it's a pity that the teacher could not restrain herself anymore, and she went for the child. But let's talk about the kind of children that we are bringing up now and the lack of parenting. And the fact that there are still some parents out there who are actually in support of what has happened. And as a teacher, I'm like saying, you know what? No, 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 this is a no. It shouldn't have happened. That girl shouldn't have come onto her. Can you see the teacher's desk there? So she actually came into the teacher's desk. She was on the teacher's space. That particular area where she was standing should not even be crossed by any child. But she crossed that space and she dared the teacher. And if you watch the video, when the teacher was trying to call for help, she actually went for her. So I don't know how anybody could support this video. Yes, maybe the teacher could have when she gets her on the floor, not be that harsh, but we're all trained. Like every teacher is trained when it comes to the de-escalating issues, when it comes to behavior management and how to de-escalate. I bet you she was not applying too much force. Of course, the girl will say she was, but as a teacher, she should have been trained. She should know how to restrain. And I think what she was doing was restraining. There's been a lot of video. I couldn't show you guys the picture of the teacher restraining the child because the teacher's, skirt was up and they were, it was a total disgrace, to be frank with you. And no teacher needs to be treated this way. To be frank, it's not okay. We leave our home, we have children, and we leave our home to teach. We actually leave our home to offer service. We're not paid very well. Seriously, we're passing through a lot of difficulties. For me personally, as a teacher, sometimes once my salary comes in, it finishes that way. It does. I don't even have any money left. I'm trying to keep my head above grounds. I'm trying to run my home. I have a child and I get into school and you see children disrespecting you because of their poor parenting by their parents. No, let's talk about this. This is something that we all need to first, after everything, talk about. We talk about teachers leaving the job because of these things. Because we have been made so handicapped that we can't defend ourselves. We can't do anything. A child verbally abuses you. A child hits you. A child actually calls you names and you cannot do anything about it. And the parents comes, and instead of the parents to actually chastise their child, they tell you you're a teacher, you should mind, you can bear it. That's what you're trained for. No, we're not trained to collect bullshit from children. We're not superheroes who will train your child character when you didn't. So let's talk about this. Let's actually talk about this. And the fact that even school managements are not helping. Some school managements are actually sugarcoating some of the issues in school. You get hurt by a child and nothing happens. And you're being told to manage it and to let go. I mean, this is it's happening in our schools, and these things needs to be discussed because teachers are actually being bullied, being beaten, being ridiculed, being called names. And all we are trying to do is to educate your children and make them to be better citizens, but parents are not actually training their children to be better citizens. And they bring that baggage to school for teachers to do the miracle. We can't. We're not God. We can't do the magic. It's not possible. So when I saw this, to be frank, when I saw this video, I was like, oh my God, this is not okay. Nobody leaves their home to be abused or to be spoken to rudely. I know from my experience working as a supply teacher, not as a TA, supply TA in schools. I've been to secondary schools, and I know that when the children start the ridicule, when they are planning this, I bet you this must have escalated during the lesson, comments being said and things being, there's more to this story. So I hope both of them learn from what has happened, both the child and the teacher. I don't know if the child could have walked out, but she couldn't have because the child was going for her. The child wouldn't let her go. Maybe she should have given the phone, but then that is like letting go of your authority and letting the child get away. Because most times you have to follow, we've been taught behavior management, you have to follow the procedure. You have to stand your ground. So I think this school needs to actually make a stand for the kind of behavior that was being exhibited both by the teacher and the child. And from what people are saying, somebody said something about that they can never teach in this school. That means that this school is actually known for behavior issue. So I said I'm a substitute teacher for Rocky Mount school system, and this is why I will not sub at Rocky Mount High. The kids are beyond disrespectful. Parents condone their children behavior and lack of accountability. a lot can you imagine? So this, and it's not just that school, most schools now, there's no accountability. Parents just give excuses. Parents just let the children run just run their mouth and do whatever they want to do, and you as a teacher is supposed to just bear it, because you're a teacher, because you're being paid to be insulted and to be talked down on. Come on, come on. I think after everything, the government need to also address the kind of bullying and the disrespect and the way teachers are being treated in school, because these are the things that actually are causing most teachers leaving the profession, because no one wants to come to a toxic environment where the people they are supposed to be helping are the one abusing them and treating them as if they are not, they're not valued or they're not worth anything. So after we have addressed this pay scale and everything, let's talk about behavior in schools, because it's not getting better. I'm telling you, after the COVID, something happened. After the COVID, it has become so bad that sometimes going into schools, teachers are apprehensive or they're having stress and mental health issue because of the kind of verbal abuse that they get from the children, or the disrespect, or the way children actually do not regard their presence and their authority. It's as if they don't care. And then school management just sweep it under the carpet because they do not want to have their school being termed to not be functioning well. And then even the reporting system, you are being told to sugarcoat it and make it look better. This is what's happening in our school. And this will continue until something happens, until the government looks at the system and actually a way of protecting teachers from verbal abuse, from this kind of abuse from children, is actually put in place. If not, this is what we're going to keep seeing. I mean, wasn't the last 2 months another fight between a teacher, and these are the ones that were recorded because there was a phone there. What about the ones that undocumented, that we're not aware of? Can you imagine? Anyway, we'll keep you updated on this story as it unfolds, what the penalty, what the charges were, or what the final outcome of the charges. We just try to follow up this story because for me personally, I just felt like the teacher was doing her job, and she got herself into this, and maybe there could have been a way she could have restrained herself, but I don't know. I don't know how she could have, because the girl was ready for her. The girl was going for her. I don't know. Anyway, teachers are not gods. That's all I have to say. We're actually human. So please, parents, try to train your children. Try to actually teach your children to respect their teacher. I'm telling you, even in primary schools, it is happening. There's a lot of lack of respect for teachers. I do not know why. And sometimes I feel it's those conversations that you're having with other adults the children are listening to. That's what I feel. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to give us a star. Don't forget to give us a super chat. We do need that. And God bless you until I come your way again. Drop your comments. What do you think about the behavior in schools and behavior in general of this generation, and how sassy and disrespectful they are? Drop your comment about it. God bless you.